All right, welcome to this edition of In the Conference Room with Mark S. Lee. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I know it was a tough weekend. I get it. I get it, sports wise, with our beloved Detroit Tigers and certainly the Lions, but that's okay. You know what? Everybody will be back. I'm not worried. I want you to sit back and relax and enjoy the conversation as we do each and every single week with business leaders and community leaders from across the great city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, as well as across the country. And as you know, we are now in the throes of the election season. Halloween's right around the corner. And so we've reached out to several people to see if we can interview them for the conference room. So this week is no different. We have Miss Beverly Watts, and she's a candidate for police commissioner for the 5th District of the Great City of Detroit. And she's going to spend a few minutes with us and give us her background and discuss why she's doing it as well as her background. Beverly Watts, thanks for joining me back in the conference room. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good on this Monday morning. Thank you for having me, Mr. Lee.
Well, always good to have you, Miss Watts, right?
Yes.
All right. So, you're running for police commissioner as a
Yes,
write-in candidate in the
absolutely.
District 5 of Detroit. So I want to turn over to you and just kind of let's start with why are you doing it? What's your cause in terms of your decision to do something like this, to run for a political office or a community-based office in Detroit?
Great. And that's a great question. And to keep it simple, because anyone that knows me and have worked with me in the past, they know I'm just really transparent and I'm committed to my community. Basically, the bottom line is the reason I want to be a police commissioner because I want to make a difference. And I love my community. I have lived in District 5 since the early 90s. My career started probably about 6 or 7 years after I graduated from Michigan State University by a chance meeting with the former Honorable Coleman Young. And as I was meeting with him and with a lot of other youth at that time, of course, when you come out of college, you have that degree. You fail to realize you have no work experience, so you have these big dreams. And of course, like many, we were thinking about going to, of course, New York or California. And that chance meeting with the former mayor when he said, "Why would you want to do that when this community raised you?" I am a product of the Detroit Public Schools, been here all of my life. So he really emphasized the importance of helping our community as we go through our journey of our careers and our life. So that comment there kind of made me pause. And so I did land a job, entry level job with the city of Detroit, and that started my path with my government experience. So I have nearly 25 years of government experience with City Detroit and mainly with Wayne County. I am the first female director, parks director for Wayne County, and the first female director that handled the largest county road agency in the state. So the charge for a police commissioner is simple. Basically, you help the police department working with the chief to help with policies, rules, and regulations and citizens' complaint, which is directly aligned with my path being director for nearly 20 years. So I have experience and I can hit the ground running. But really, the everything that overcomes that is my passion and just my love for the city of Detroit. I want to join that table with the 11 other commissioners. It's total of 11. Four are appointed by the mayor. Seven are elected through the 7 districts. I want to sit alongside those commissioners as well as working with the police department to make reform, get some programs that really help our community, and even get the community involved. We cannot expect our community to get safer, be safer with programs with the police department by themselves. We have a role to play. I've also been on the executive board for my HOA for the past 10 years, and I've also volunteered. I'm on several boards throughout the state. Public transit, I was appointed by the governor to the infrastructure board and now the mobility and electrification board earlier this year. I also serve on the Spinks board, which we help our youth with their God-gifted talent of classical music, but they don't have the funding. So I've always been rooted everything Detroit because I do believe it takes all of us. We got to get off the fence to make our community safe and have a healthy environment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
no, and I was going to say, just we can have this conversation. But my belief is we love, District 5. I love all the other districts, but the one I live in, I have to say we are special, and we just happen to have a downtown in our district. But we are a large neighborhood, and we are a committed neighborhood. The police have really two functions: to protect and to serve. And that
Mm.
doesn't matter whether you're protecting a life in the neighborhood or 1,000 lives in Fort Field. This is not negotiable by location or zip code. And so I want to help the police department. I'm not one to come in like a circus, but I am, as an advocate, I am solution based. So I come in working together because I think when we go against each other, we're wasting time when we both could be working together to have a probable good solution to keep our community safe.
So, for those who may not be aware, what are the boundaries of District 5?
That's a great question. And we just had remapping too. So a lot of us, you're looking at the new boundaries of all of the districts. But basically, if you come down and look at District 5, it encompasses and comprises of Indian Village, which stops at Fisher Street, right just east of Van Dyke. Then we swing over to Indian Village. We have a piece of Russell Woods, and then we go up to in Midtown Pass beyond Mac. We even go over to the neighborhood I grew up in on Sturtevant, a piece of 48206, which is the Sturtevant, Dexter, Cortland area. So it's a large district. It's a great district, and I just want to lend my voice and my advocacy, and more importantly, my experience working with the police department to keep our community safe and get more community involvement in coming up with a great solution.
As you go through and across the district, you and I have chatted before. You've been knocking on doors, you've been talking to seniors, you've been canvassing. What are the common themes that they're telling you that they would like to see you as well as the other commissioners focus on?
Well, one of the main functions is several. One of the main things I've been finding crisscrossing across this district is make awareness. I know that everyone is super busy, but make awareness. A lot of residents really, they've heard of the role of a police commissioner, but they're not sure exactly what the role is of a police commissioner. So I am a communications-based person. So before we can even support and have a solution, I'm going to make sure they know what the role is of a police commissioner and how they can have an impact and play a part of that role. That's one. The other concern is just they realize and they really support the current police chief because crime in certain areas are going down, but they do have a concern with a significant gun violence, especially this summer with our youth. And we know it's really bad when a 6-year-old can't run to a slide and get shot, or youth is in the home waiting for his dad to come home and get shot in the home. The crime that's against our senior citizens. I hear that a lot. That's a major concern. We have a lot of scammers out here now, and they're using the technology of AI. So those are one of the things, some of the things that they're really, really concerned about. It's a shame when you feel bad you can't go out and walk to the store. So, and this is not just unique to Detroit, especially this year. It's around the country. But Detroit have a uniqueness because we do have a great relationship with our police department. We just got to come together and come together with positive solutions. And I think we can do that through the advocacy of police commissioners, especially the ones that comes with experience and have done this and then come to the table and hit the ground running.
You made an interesting comment a second ago. You said not many people know the role of the commissioner. You referenced obviously the relationship with the chief of police in terms of that space as well, in terms of the safety and things of that sort from a police perspective. So clarify one more time, specifically the role of the police commissioner for these individuals.
Yes. One of the main functions of the role of a police commissioner is with the budget. Most will not, they don't understand that before the police chief can submit this budget, recommended budget to the mayor, it goes through the board of police commissioners, which assist. And that's very, very vital, especially when we're trying to assist the chief with making sure that he has the funding to do the job that they need to do, hiring more officers on the roll or having some programs at the community involvement. Another one is policies, helping them structure and writing policies. For example, you can say, hey, body cam cameras. You want to make sure they're turned on, not just having them there. You want to have rules and regulations because it goes back to the police officers have a responsibility to protect and serve. It doesn't allow anyone to violate anyone's civil rights or anything that goes beyond that. So that's a key important role that the police commissioner is working alongside the police chief to ensure those rules and regulations are in place to protect individual civil rights as we're continuing trying to keep our community safe.
Just joining us, we're talking to Beverly Watts, and she's a candidate for police commissioner for the District 5, the 5th District of Detroit, near the east side, in the downtown area, going towards the east side and a little bit further north of that. And she's talking about her platform and what she's going to be focused on if elected into this role. I think the election days are November 4th and November 5th.
November 4th.
Thank you. Tuesday,
Yes. First
November
Tuesday of
4th.
the month, November
I
4th.
just I know it's the first Tuesday. I just couldn't remember a specific date.
Yes.
But no, Tuesday, November 4th. As we, begin to segue towards the end in a couple of moments, I got to ask you about our young people. You referenced about our young people can't walk to a park without something happening sometimes. We know that crime is certainly down. We've seen the statistics and stories about crime dropping, not just in Detroit, but other major cities across the country. But talk about our youth. And from your perspective, what else can we do, the commissioners, the police department, to ensure the safety of our young people?
Absolutely. I believe that working along with the other commissioners and the police department, if you can remember, Mark, back in the day, and I think we need to collaborate a little bit more with our school systems because we gotta really have reform when they're young. It's really difficult, it's not impossible, but it's difficult when they become of age. I recall when I was in elementary school, I became a service girl and some of those programs where you're helping and you're in charge and making sure everyone's get to the lunchroom, walk down the hall good. But when we had that and we received a little badge and a little wrist badge, and the boys were safety boys on the outside, law enforcement, it was a police officer that would come to our school and they would give us a little badge. And at that time, we're young, we didn't realize the significance of that. The significance of that is to start at that relationship with law enforcement, where we can have that relationship, not out of fear, but also just making sure we understand the respect of authority. I'd like to see some of those programs come back into the school system and working along with the law enforcement to bring about that change, starting where they're young and also with the parents as well, because it's tough out here now we didn't have to deal with social media. We didn't have to deal with an AI. We didn't have any of that. In my household, we had one phone. One phone in the
Oh,
household, and mom and dad control that phone. So we didn't have all of the outside entities now that can just reach your child while you're busy at work. It's tough out here. And Mark, another reason that I want to be also on police commissioners because we do have wonderful 11 commissioners that will serve. Right now, you have about 3 to 4 women who make up the commission. I want to make sure we have more women at the table, and here's why. About 60% of the households in the city of Detroit are run by single women, single moms. So I want to make sure if I'm coming with my experience, I want to come with their ideas too and bring all of the ideas and concepts and their experiences that can help us get about working with the police and having a safer community. So that's another reason. 60% of the households nearly in the city of Detroit. So we got to help those moms out. And I think one of the reasons is being a police commissioner working alongside our police force.
and as I begin to wrap up, I want to ask you, but in terms of the programs you're referencing, I do remember some of those programs. I was a safety boy growing up, and I had my orange belt and everything like that. But it requires funding. And
Yes.
so, from a funding perspective, great programs engaging young people, getting people with authority back into the classroom environment, so to speak. Where will you propose the funding to make those programs happen?
And this is where experience matters. Like I said, coming together in my previous roles as a director, I do know until we get the additional funding that we're always advocating for, whether it's through grants or any other sources, you got to look at your budget right now and see where you can redirect some funds. I used to do that all the time while I was still advocating for more funding. Say, for example, I'll look at the programs, and the chief and his officers have wonderful programs now, but I would really look at those current programs and see how well attended they are and look at the ones that's least attended by the community or engagement and redirect and recreate programming and use those dollars that we currently have while we're advocating for additional funding as well. But you got to start with the current budget you have and you got to see what's working and what's not. It's basically just called an assessment. And that's what I have 20 years of experience doing just that.
So 30 seconds or less as we wrap up. Tell me or tell the listeners, the viewers, Give them a final statement and how they can get more information about your platform as well.
Exactly. You could always reach in and learn more about my experience, learn more about myself at www.beverlywatts.com. And I just want to say real quickly, I'm a neighbor. I've been in District 5 since the early 90s. I have a government experience. I've been rooted in this community with my volunteerism, but I think experience definitely matters. You want someone at that table that can hit the ground running. So I'm really asking you, if you really want to support my candidacy, you have to write my name in. If you want our community safe again, you have to write me in. Thank you so much. I'm Beverly Watts, running for Police Commissioner, District 5.
Beverly Watts, thank you very much for joining me in the conference room. Love the conversation, engaging as always. Thank you very much. I wish you much luck and success on election day,
Thank
which
you.
is Tuesday,
Yes.
Tuesday, November 4th, right?
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Father, thank you all for tuning in to this week's edition of In the Conference Room. We will check you out next time with more guests on In the Conference Room with Mark Esley. Don't forget to subscribe to the this page on YouTube and don't continue and make sure you continue. If I can talk here, make sure you continue to spread the word. All make it a great day, make it a great weekend. Enjoy this beautiful weather. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.